Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing amazing. In this video, I will be telling you about how I passed my G2 in first go. So let's not wait and let's get started. Okay, to start with, I have been driving back home like in India for almost, I was driving there for 10-11 years before I came here. I got my abstract, but then it got expired because the validity of that abstract that you get from India is 6 months. And unfortunately, I gave my G1 obviously later than that. So when I gave my G1, I again cleared, but they didn't accept my experience. So but that's okay. What you can do is you can always have another abstract. You can just write a letter to them, or you can give authority to any of your family member. They can go there and then they can come back, but that's for another video if you want to know how everything is done. So then I had to give my G2 next, which I was not giving for so many reasons. COVID came, and then I was also very scared and nervous because although I was driving back home, but herein it was completely different. I was driving, the steering wheel was on the right side, now here it is on the left, and I was not confident at all that I would be able to drive here. So eventually I recently started taking lessons. I took 3 lessons, and then I thought, okay, let's give the test. I took 3 lessons, not continuously, but I did take those lessons, and then it is little difficult in the beginning because things change. You're used to driving on the other side of the road, but for me, I think it was I was little comfortable. Why? Because I was always, most of the time I was always there with my husband when he was driving, so I was also looking around, on which side he would be driving or what things he would be doing, so I was focusing on that. There are certain key points, for instance the indicators that you have to give, and then even back home I was used to doing it. Whenever I was making a turn, I was giving those indicators before. But what you should be doing, let me tell you certain things. It's not in any particular order, but if you're giving your G2 test, or if you've already given it and you have not passed for some reason, here is what you can do. First of all, I gave my test in Brampton. People usually go to far off places up north or anywhere because they feel that in Brampton they reject a lot, which is true. I've seen people getting rejected. Again, I've seen people who have passed also nearby locations in Brampton, Mississauga. For instance, my husband's G2 was in Mississauga and he cleared in one go. There are certain reasons. I'll tell you why the rejections also happen shortly, and the examiner did help me in understanding what happens. She was very amazing, by the way. My examiner was amazing. She was very sweet and she knew I was nervous, so she could calm me down. So let's see what you have to do. First and foremost, whether you have driven before or not, I would suggest to take classes, be it someone who's with you who already has a G and who can sit with you when you drive or practice, or if not, you can always go back to you can go to any driving school, or they're freelancers and you can start taking classes. I would not suggest taking 5, 7, 8 or 10 classes. Again, it depends individual to individual, but when you are in the car, make sure that you are comfortable. You adjust your seat accordingly, you adjust your mirrors accordingly, you adjust your side mirrors accordingly, and you're confident and you're comfortable, and then you can do your seat up and down, whichever way. You have to be, the first thing before anything else, you have to be very comfortable the way you're sitting, because now you have to drive. And you cannot drive continuously if you are uncomfortable. So make sure your seat is completely comfortable. To some it might look like a very small point, but believe me, to all those new drivers who are nervous, who have never driven before, or who have driven in different countries but have not tried here, this is something which is very important. You have to make sure your seats are you're very comfortable. Second is the blinkers, these indicators. You have to make sure you cannot just miss any. You have to have your blinkers, your indicators on every now and then. You're going right, you give it right. And it's not that you're about to turn right and you have to give it way ahead, so that the people behind you or who are maybe in front of you from that traffic, they know where you're moving. So you have to always give it. Third thing, if you're going to give your test, you have to be very sure of one thing. And this is what I say, you have to act like a pigeon. Like, have you seen the pigeon's neck moving, and they always go like this? This is what is extremely important. You have this mirror here, then you have your left and right, and you have to keep on watching. In every 15 seconds you have to do this. You have to see you have to observe your traffic around you very carefully. And if while giving exam you do like this, and you might feel that, oh my god, I'm still doing it and why examiner rejected me. No, you have to move. You have to move, and this is what they will tell you even before giving your exam, that you literally have to move your head like this, and then only then they'll be able to know that you're actually watching the traffic. So every 15-20 seconds, watch here, watch here, watch here, see what's around. You have to use this, and I say this, it is literally doing it like a pigeon. And my kid was laughing that, what comparison are you making? But yes, it is. I said, no matter what, I'll not stop doing this. And this is a matter of time. Once you will start driving, you will be more comfortable. You will actually be doing this, because you have to be very careful about what's happening on the road. The next thing I would say is, whenever you're making an exit, let's say you did your parking or whatever happened, and whenever you're making an exit, you always look above your shoulder from there. So for instance, let's say you're making an exit there, you put on a left indicator, and then you just look that no traffic is coming, and then you take it out. When you're parking on the sideway on your right, make sure you check your blind spots. So these are called blind spots that you cannot literally see on your side mirror. So you have to just turn around, or you have to go that side, and you have to see. And you have to see these side mirrors, your blind spots, and then move. If ever you're going to move without checking these blind spots, or park without checking these blind spots, it is a negative mark. And it is not safe. Forget about negative mark, it's not safe. Another thing that I can tell you is, please reach at least 30 minutes. My time was of, I think it was around 2:55 p.m. I believe. I was there half an hour before, but then I got my chance around 3:35, 3:40. So it happens at times they are maybe before time, or not, at times they're after your scheduled time. So plan accordingly. Just don't think my test is at 2, I'll be free by 2:20, and then I can leave, and then I can do something at 3. Plan your day ahead. It might take you longer than you're expecting, and so that is something you need to be very, very clear. You have to plan your day ahead, and do not just assume something. The test is usually for 10 minutes to 20 minutes. That's the only duration. For me, so there was a pattern in the Brampton test center. The moment you're going to move out, maybe in my next video, if you would want, I can show you the routes where they can take you. There are possibly 2 routes, so I can show you if you want. So they're going to take you out. That was a pattern there, and then they're going to ask you to do a 3-point turn. Then they will ask you to do parallel parking, and then they're going to take you out. So on the main stop, either they can take you right, and then you're going to move all the way and come from the back side, or they're going to take you left and move all the way and come from the back side, right? So they can take you the right or left. Usually these are the only 2 routes they follow. Whenever you are in school zone, always remember, if the lights are flashing, and even if you're a tiny bit above 40, it's a negative, it's a red flag. You cannot compromise anything when the students around, when the kids around. So make sure if the lights are flashing, it's 40. If not, then you can go to your regular, at a regular speed. Similarly, when you see pedestrians, you have to let them go. You just can't assume you can go from somewhere because you thought you could go, right? Or maybe let's say this is the crossing, and the pedestrian is here, and you are here, and you say, oh, the pedestrian is here, so I can just quickly take a turn. No, red flag. Stay back, let the person cross, and then only you can go. So these are little things that you have to make sure if you want to pass your test. Another reason is you cannot block the entrance or exit. So if this is a road for you, and let's assume this is an exit to any mall or any complex or something, then you cannot just park here. Even if it's a red light, either you park here, let's say, and this is the exit, either you park here or you park here. You have to leave this spot here. You cannot just park in between, correct? So you have to make note of these things very, very carefully. You have no clue how nervous I was. I was barely eating or drinking anything because I was just so super nervous, and I was like, oh my god, what will happen if I will not clear this? Because I've been driving almost my entire life, and now what if I fail here? And I think, and my stomach was growing all crazy. My heart was beating like hell, and I was just so nervous. But when I reached there, I was trying to remember everything, and I did pass. So even while I was driving, I was nervous, and I told my examiner that, hey, I'm really nervous, so please. And she's like, no, I know all the people when they come here, they are nervous, so just relax. It's okay. Take your time, and do not feel if you make one teeny tiny mistake, it's a red flag. Usually they let go if they say that if they see that you are doing everything correct and it's just one thing you did wrong, maybe because you're nervous. Then they also will make you do a downhill or uphill park. So I'll just tell you how it happens. So if it's in Brampton Driving Test Center, this is usually what happens there, and I'm sure it 90% would match in any driving test center that you're gonna have for your G2 exam. A three-point turn, then they had a parallel park, then they would ask you to move out. Again, when you're moving out, you have to check here, check your blind spots. You're moving out, and they're gonna take you out somewhere, and then you have to make either a downhill or uphill park. That's what you will be doing. Yeah, and what else I can tell? I guess, yeah, so that's about it. But if you have any questions, you can always write in the comment and I would be happy to answer. So just a quick recap, or maybe a few pointers that I can tell you. Do not forget to carry your G1 license when you're going. When you go there, when you stop, so there are parking lot numbers dedicated just to the driving test. You have to go inside the test center. There's a kiosk that's going to print a ticket for you, and that will show you a number, and then same number will be given to some examiner, and they're going to come out carrying a little tab kind of thing, a little tab wherein they're going to come and they're going to knock at a window, or they're going to ask you to have your window down so that they can ask your name. They will ask you to show your driver's license, which they're going to check again. Then they're going to ask you to turn on the headlight for the indicators for right and left. They're going to stand in the front and check. Then they're going to go back, say indicators for right and left, then press your foot on the brake and then remove it. They just want to make sure that everything is working. And then they're going to say whenever you're ready or comfortable, you can pull out the car from the parking lot and then just take out. And whenever they want you to switch to something, they will say whenever you are ready, go onto this lane, whenever you're ready. So that's what they usually say. They might use something else, but they will not force anything on you. Usually the examiners are good. I hope they are. I hope everyone is like my examiner. She knew I was nervous and she was able to calm me down, and I'm very thankful to her. Because of her I passed, because had I been nervous the entire exam, I would have not been able to do, because the moment I stepped out and I started doing little things like 3-point and parallel parking, I had my confidence there because I knew I could do it. See, I know how to drive already. I knew how to drive. I had that road sense. I knew what the indicators are. I knew when they are supposed to be turned on. So this is not something someone needs to tell me. But when you're nervous, you mix it up. You just do blunders, which is natural for anyone. I would say be very well prepared. Again, a gist. They're going to check everything. They're going to ask you more of the parking. In the Brampton one, a 3-point turn, parallel parking from the stop. They're going to take you out, right or left, wherever. Uphill, downhill. They're going to make sure if you're in the school zone, they check the speeds. They check how you are changing the lanes from left to right. Whenever you, let's say in a red light and taking a left turn, you will notice a yellow line, which is a divider between a traffic going on this side on opposite directions. Never step on, and as in your car should never be on that yellow line. Again, a red flag. You have to balance your car. If there are 2 white lines, it just cannot be in the center. It has to be either on this side or in this side. So these are little things that you need to take care of. Practice well, I would suggest. Just do not be overconfident. I think that's also one of the reasons why people fail. Do not be overconfident. Practice a lot. Focus. I will not say not be nervous, because I myself was nervous, and I know it is very natural for someone to be. It's okay if you're nervous. That's fine. You will be nervous in situations where we have to perform and a result needs to come out, or we need to know what will happen next. So it's okay to be nervous. I think it's healthy to be nervous. Just be a little confident, practice everything, and you're gonna get it. So all the very best to all the drivers, or to everyone who are giving their G2 driving test. If you still need some tip or something in detail with respect to any parking or something, well, they didn't ask me to do a reverse park. They just a normal forward park. So when we entered back in the parking lot, she asked me to do a forward park, like whenever you're ready you can park in any of the lanes. So that ways they might ask you to do a reverse park at certain driving test center. They skip parallel parking, or they do 3-point and not the parallel, or do the parallel and not the 3-point. So it completely depends individual to individual. But if you have any questions, anything in detail, if you want to know from where I took my classes, you can always ask me, and then I can let you know. I'm in Brampton, and I think she teaches to students in and around Brampton, but I can always check for you, so you can let me know. Take care, bye, and all the best.